Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube. It is Tuesday night. It is cloudy, and it is 78 degrees. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, human being, American, and YouTuber Ronin. I'd like to welcome you to tonight's episode of Live from Sparkwood in 21. This series chronicles the cult classic Twin Peaks, its sequel, Twin Peaks: The Return, and created by the late legendary David Lynch, along with Mark Frost. And with the passing of Mr. Lynch, this show has become, kind of a tribute to him. And we decided not just to cover Twin Peaks, but to cover his career, really. And we've previously done The Elephant Man, Wild at Heart, Blue Velvet, and now the Spicediver edit of Dune. So we started this last week. It is a 3-hour film, so we cut it in half. And that's where we will be beginning this evening. Joining me on this odyssey are Superfans Last Call Tripicelli.
Hello, hello.
Netters Network.
Good evening.
And Aged Boomer.
Baron Harkonnen did nothing wrong.
Okay.
Fight me
That's
on
a
that.
hot take.
That's a hot take. My opinion's as valid as anyone more, so.
Fair enough.
From their point of view, it's the tradies are the villains.
That's true. No, you're not wrong. And he was he had the tacit go ahead from the Padishah Emperor, so he's part of the establishment, right? So he's okay.
As far as I'm concerned, the Jedi are in the wrong. Wait, no.
Oh, please.
Actually, that's actually not a difficult argument to make. Yeah, that actually holds up pretty well.
Oh, he's kind of right. Oh no.
There was a twisted Mego theater that I used to read Toy Fair magazine, and they had Twisted Mego Theater, all these little comics done with the world's greatest superhero action figures. And Spider-Man and the Hulk went to see Revenge of the Jedi, and you're seeing it with the back of Hulk's head and the back of Spider-Man's head, kind of a la what is
Mystery
that?
Science Theater.
Mystery Science Theater 3000. Thank you. And like they're showing all these scenes from the movie, and at one point Spider-Man goes, "Oh, come on, what are you trying to make him turn to the dark side? What's wrong with you people?"
I would like to say hello to some people who've joined us here in the live chat. Let me scroll up real quick. I don't want to miss anyone. Faithful Blue Wrench, channel member, the Bird Woman of YouTube. Watch out for her channel, Fluff Chick Productions. It's Connie Cleary. Gorillas returning to random thoughts. Applause. Swinging in to say hi, but currently making supper and getting the bingo cards ready for tonight's stream. All right.
Now,
thank you. For,
I know he specifically told me that I did not have to change his name in my credits and whatnot, because he's going to change from time to time. But I told him I was going to do my best to try and keep up with it. But now I start to think he's just trying to mess with me.
I'd like to say hello to the Tired Midnight Blogger, the voice of Northern Oklahoma, Curtis Selby says, trying to get home. I'll be here when I do. Right on. Stay safe. And thank you to Ruby Hoove for gifting a membership over on Troy's channel. And who is the lucky winner?
Suzanne. I've seen Suzanne around a couple times recently, and I think that's really, really awesome. Thing is, though, that doesn't necessarily mean that Suzanne is here right now, so she may not be hearing this, but I am tagging her in, all of my streams going forward, so she'll get the word. She'll know I appreciate her.
Cool. All right. Say hello to channel member JPRPH1. Says catch up when I get home. Okay. And of course, Netter, member for 11 months. Dune. Thank you, Nate. $2 super chat. My youngest just graduated from junior high today. Congrats.
Congratulations.
Right on.
Big deal.
Indeed.
Yeah, now it's time for the high school.
Jeff B joining us. Also a channel member. All right. Let's see. Scrolling down. I don't want to miss anybody. I think I got to everybody. And I have. Right on. Okay. Also to everybody currently joining us on X. I can't see you, but I know that you're there. And of course, anybody who might be lurking in the background, there's always one or two. Perfectly fine. You do not have to engage with the chat, just as long as you enjoy the show. Hit the like, share out the stream. Memberships are available on my channel, as well as Troy and Netter's. So please feel free to become a member this evening if you like what you see. And if you don't like what you see, we'll do better next time. Go ahead, Anders.
Gorilla Random Thoughts said, not messing with you. The Hamhand has been retired. It was just a 1 week trolling thing.
Yeah, I know. You told me the story about what that was all about, but I'm just playing because it is funny. You change from time to time, but you're not the only one that does that, by the way. It's just, I thought it was cute. Why to make a little joke about it?
Alrighty, so like I said, this is the Spicediver edit, probably the best known fan edit of Dune 1984.
I would argue it's the best.
It's certainly, I would agree. Edit. Yeah, probably the best fan edit of any fan edit period, I would think. So, of course, there are scenes here that you might not have seen before. They fit into the film pretty seamlessly. If you're familiar with the theatrical edit, you'll know which scenes those are pretty easily. Those of you who are maybe have seen the 4-hour cut will notice what's missing. And there's no oil paintings in this.
Yeah,
they released the Madsen cut, and this is it. And so yeah, you are back to the princess narrating the film, which as it should be. Should be, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. And let's face it, more Virginia Madsen the better, but. Yeah. Getting to the source material, also, it is the Princess Irulan who is supposed to be the narrator.
Mm-hmm. Daniel Berry Sports Highlights joining us. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Emoji Queen, Lady Mist. All right. So, where we have left off, of course, is... by order of the Emperor, the Atreides are left in charge of Arrakis, but of course the Harkonnens have laid a trap, and unfortunately, it's a trap. And as we left off, we kind of mid-attack, the Harkonnens are striking back. The Empire strikes back, and that's where we are. And hello to Robert's Infinite Realms. No party people. There's something besides the 4-hour cut. Just kidding. Yeah. So okay. Without any further ado, I say let's go ahead and get this started. In
Let's get it started.
And the
The
Cosme link
second
is
half.
pinned to the top of all of our chats.
yes.
Yep.
You can also find this on Internet Archive.
Yep.
Was at one point on YouTube, but it seems to have been pulled down since. And correct me on this point because I'm not 100% clear on it, Troy. Is there or is there not a Blu-ray for this?
There is a Blu-ray.
Uh-huh.
I have the Blu-ray version. There might be a 4K version of this too. And when I say there is these versions of them, they are out there, kind of like the Star Wars original, trilogy in 4K is out there.
I see.
You can find them.
Okay.
You can find them.
Right on. Right on. Okay. Physical media, folks.
Yep. And if it hasn't been released, go ahead and make it for yourself.
All right. I'll count you down in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hit it. Of course, we begin on.
Hey, Chucky, why are you so nervous?
Yeah.
Did you see what I put in the little chat there?
Hey, it's Zit Face.
Yeah, it is.
He has a condition, yes.
I can't watch any scene that he's in because it makes me want to kind of throw up.
Do you think he has,
I'll be on. Go ahead.
do you think Baron Harkonnen has bad breath? This is what I was asking.
I'm sure he does.
He may or may not, but I'll tell you what, Duke Leto is in about a few minutes. The actor playing the Baron, I've seen him in a lot of things, but unlike so many others, I don't automatically think about this, right? Because without the prosthetic makeup for the boils on his face and the bodysuit and all that kind of stuff, he looks pretty different.
Ooh. Nice. Oh, that's messed up.
Why?
Because he's disgusting. I mean, actually, on Arrakis, that would be a compliment, right?
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, yeah, I suppose you're right. And he doesn't know that's his daughter.
No.
I mean,
Well-
it's not really a spoiler. I mean, well, I guess it kind of is, but I mean,
As usual, just way too into it. I've actually met Brad Dourif's son. Looks
Oh,
just
yeah?
like him. You can tell. Yeah. Yeah, good guy. Voiceover actor.
Paul's awake.
I don't think he's quite selling this. Meanwhile, I don't want to start any rumors or anything, but I think there's been a very serious security breach here.
you
Yeah.
think?
Yeah,
This Return
Just-
of the
just,
Jedi prequel is weird.
Yeah.
just a thought. You know.
Is that the beast?
Richard Jordan Fu. Oh, there you go. Toodles. Hey, Kiba.
Ooh.
Yeah, I had a hard time understanding that. I thought that was the whole point of the shield, to prevent things like bullets. You
It's
know.
possible the Harkonnen had a technology that they didn't know
Oh,
about.
yeah. If it works the same way as that Hunter Seeker,
Yeah.
then okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. No, wait, that wouldn't work
No.
because the Hunter Seeker uses anti-grav, and you can't mix anti-grav and the shield technology. You'd have a nuclear explosion.
Man, this Quantum Leap show is intense.
I know, right?
He looks a bit pervy, I have to be honest with you, the Baron.
They all do.
Yeah, they all do, but him especially.
Mhm. Oh.
Now, the one thing is that the Harkonnens are redheads, okay? So that's fine. You know that you see the red hair, you think Harkonnens. But these guys here, I don't imagine them being related to the Baron, you know? Did we lose deleted?
I don't know.
Yes, we did. I'm taking over now.
Oh, is he still having storms in his area?
I don't know. Yeah, you don't have to wear a mask anymore. The whole COVID thing is over. Now, I don't know if this is intentional or not, but she says when she says there's no need to fight over me, she's being subtle. She's not specifically telling him to do anything. She's inferring it. And her use of the voice is more subtle. Whereas when he said it, he gives a specific command, a direct command.
They're getting a little close to those rocks, aren't they?
Almost there. Stay on target. It kind of looked like that, you know?
Relax. He knows what he's doing. Hello to Big Al Presents.
Hey, Big Al.
Says, hello, my friends. Sorry I'm late, but a shark film needed watching. LOL. Fear Below, 10-word review. Now up on his channel. Alrighty, I'll be checking that out right after the program here has concluded. I was kind of curious about that movie myself.
Yeah.
Ew.
He says, what if the entire planet is inbred? I think that's kind of the idea.
I guess that's probably the implication. I guess I was thinking specifically, source material, but yeah, that could have been the intent. You're right.
Hello to you, Sarn G, channel member.
Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for being here.
Cosme link is at the top of the chat. And hello to Susan Eckstein. Good to see you there in the chat. You made it over. Right on. Space Fraggle. Good to see you, sir.
We know that Suzanne's here.
He's a little twitchy.
She got the memberships.
Yep.
Thank you for being here. Glad you could join us. Cosme link is pinned to the top of the chat. If you don't have a Cosme account, it's free.
Just have to sign in.
Yeah, you just have to sign up and sign in. Excuse me. Yeah, we just started a few minutes ago on part 2.
Oh! Oh!
Yippee, he's alive.
Why is it forbidden?
This was one thing that kind of bothered me about this interpretation is the portrayal of Jessica here. I just feel like as a Bene Gesserit, she should have much better control over her emotions, and she seems kind of I mean, yes, the anger makes sense, but she seems kind of overwrought when she really should be a little bit more girl bossish, if you will. At least in my opinion. Usul.
Who leaked that? All right.
Right.
Yeah,
That,
the
they,
face
that's
of
kind of a
Bo's really
point.
different here.
And good evening to Jane Doe Letty, I believe it is. If I've mispronounced it, I apologize.
Yeah.
But welcome.
Hey, Jane.
It's very good to see you.
Good to see you here. Yeah. Cool.
The interesting thing too is that so we get these dream sequences, and usually in a David Lynch production, you get dream sequences like this, and it's like, what kind of an acid trip is this? This doesn't make any sense. But the dream sequences here all make perfect sense when you understand the story. So, USRNG, you're saying you're talking about the book Dune. Your daughter liked the book, but didn't like the movie. And which movie version? This one, the sci-fi version, the Denny the Denny Villeneuve version. Doesn't have control of her emotions because she gave the Duke a son. Now keep in mind too, that was a conscious choice. But she should be like going through the litany against fear and all of that kind of stuff.
Wow.
Now
he's not wrong.
He's not wrong, but in the book, he didn't have this level of self-awareness at this point yet.
No.
This is a storytelling device because of the limited time and the fact that he probably knew, excuse me, that this was only going to be one movie, that he wasn't going to do the whole series. Excuse me.
As complicated as the dreamer? Well, yeah, kinds. Paleoecologist. Book 3, Muad'Dib.
Not a good place.
Chew.
That was kind of a.
I know, it was a little aborted. Yeah.
Chew.
In whatever way they decide to kill him off in whichever version.
Yeah, he seemed a bit masculine and pale, right?
A little bit.
And did we say hi to Enigma Severus?
Whoa.
Welcome,
what am I
Enigma.
watching here?
Oh, hey, Enigma. And Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips. Thank you.
The Beast Raban has to make sure he gets that really good nose meat.
Ew.
No reason to be sorry for being late. You get here when you can. We're glad to have you whenever you can make it. Yes, we have to be able to market this.
Merchandising.
Merchandising.
We'll be coming to Desert later.
Yes. I remember the yes.
Beetlejuice is in the Dune universe. Confirmed.
Well, you never know.
Although, ironically, even though the weirding module was a contrivance of this movie specifically to be the answer to the Star Wars lightsaber, LJN never actually made a weirding module toy.
What?
I know.
This Arrakis feels more alien than the one in the Villeneuve movie, I think. Am I wrong?
No.
No.
Actually, I take that back. I just found one online. So maybe there was one.
I can't imagine any of those toys were produced in large number, though, right?
They didn't sell very well. The action figures were terrible. They were very, very much like the what's it called? The ones from Clash of the Titans.
Oh, I had a Perseus.
Yeah. Not
as good quality as Star Wars.
Even worse, they weren't as good a quality as the G.I. Joe 3 3/4-inch figures, which were starting to have the, knee and elbow articulation. Oh, I see. So this weirding module is actually a pack in with the action figure. So it's like the accessory for the action figure.
That's a really small Sarlacc pit.
Yeah.
Mm.
See, it's not Eevee Mux. You're having the same problem here too.
Yeah, it looks that way.
I love Real Wade Nation gaming clips.
Hey, Wade.
And hello to Enigma Severus.
Go.
You start. G says YouTube won't let him into chat there. I see all your chats in my
Yeah, I see
in my
it.
YouTube.
Yeah, we see you.
You said hi to like everybody, and then you said my daughter loved the book. She said the movie is basically trash. I'm not sure, but it's about 25 years ago.
And then I really like the book or the movie. I didn't really like the book or the movie, but I like Clive Cussler wrote novels.
So yeah, I'm seeing your comments there, buddy.
We're seeing you.
Although I just realized that I'm not seeing all comments because I only had top comments on, but there we go.
Yeah, I just changed mine to live chat.
Did David Lynch have any trouble working with Sean Young?
I don't remember hearing any stories from
Not that I've
the
heard. No.
filming of this movie. Yeah.
Now, one thing that I thought was interesting in the Villeneuve version is Jameis has a much larger part in that film.
Yeah.
And because Paul is having visions of him even before he gets to Arrakis. And in these visions, they're very much like brothers. And when this fight happens, that is the first change to his vision, so to speak.
Because he is prescient, he can see alternate futures. And so for him, he already knew and had a relationship with this guy before he even met him, right? They were already like brothers. So when the events go this way and he has to kill him, it really hurts him. It's a great way to demonstrate that what it means to be prescient.
Now they get the water.
Yep, they take him away to reclaim his water because his water belongs to the tribe.
Is that a sign?
It means a lot to them. They don't cry because water is so precious. So to cry for someone who has died is a big deal to them.
If you also look on page 140 of the Fremen Prophecy Handbook, subsection 2, it's there. Yeah.
That was okay. So this one doesn't really show up, isn't clear from this film, and I don't think it comes up in the current film. But in the book, when he asked to be called Paul Muad'Dib, that was another change from the future that he saw, because in the original future, it was just Muad'Dib. And he said, no, I also want to be known as Paul. I want to honor my father with the name he gave me. So that is why he chose Paul Muad'Dib.
Now, in the theatrical edit, this scene is not there.
Correct.
So they keep cutting back to this woman in particular, and you're like, why? Who is she? Why did they keep cutting back to her?
Exactly.
Because this scene is cut, so it's never explained. So I'm glad that this is included because it explains.
It makes sense, right?
And it also gives her an arc because she goes from, kind of giving Paul the stink eye for obvious reasons to she's pretty much a ride or die by the end of it,
Right.
What's a drachma? How many what's in a drachma?
Is there just one left?
Yeah. Oh. Well, there's one left to here. I brought down the other container.
I know. The other thing is Jessica's hair is just so lustrous. I kind of love it. And the great maker will die, and the spice will no longer flow.
So that's what happens when you get a good antihistamine.
Yeah.
In the beginning, there was the heaven and the earth. Wait, no.
Yeah.
I'll take actresses with daddy issues for 500, Alex.
Now, I may be reading too much into the source material, but my impression always was that it was kind of a dishonor to Chani that Liet was killed in the way he was, and the siege robbed of his water.
Huh. It's a hairless.
Yep.
Sting is like, why am I holding a cat again?
Yeah.
Okay. and Jack Nance, and I'm going to pretend I'm not here.
Yeah.
Which is not wrong, because to the whole movie, he's just trying not to die.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just...
Well, until he decides to die.
Yes, he failed John Wayne. How dare he?
Yeah. See, and this is another thing that I like. They make it clear how the water of life is derived. By drowning a little maker.
Oof.
Aquavite.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and again, this idea that there's a psychic connection with the current Reverend Mothers doesn't make a lot of sense, but whatever.
Yeah, but he's not just any man.
That was not expected,
also-
right?
Right.
No.
To the B'nai Gesserit, that is considered abomination. She's considered preborn. She has not yet had a personality of her own, and she is literally assaulted by the personalities and memories of every ancestor that went before her. Yes,
And
Dr.
also get at least an 85 in algebra.
Yeah, exactly. Netter Enigma Severus is saying hi.
Hello, Inigus. Yeah, I said hi already
Oh,
to
okay.
him on deleted channel.
Criticism. I'm thinking of changing my name to Shai Halud.
That's what I call little Troy, Shai Halud. Netter just looks at me.
And demonetized.
Yeah, right, exactly. Well, I don't know. I think we can get away with it because you got to kind of interpret that one. Got to read between the lines.
Excuse me.
Kyle MacLachlan, 100. Directed by Zack Snyder. I'll be right back.
I love this scene.
Oh. Oof.
Yeah. I mean, it's like he's giving it a real try, you know. Break! Move far back.
Now watch what I can do.
Yeah.
What's he gonna do?
He's going to use Kung Fu on it.
Kind of.
He learned that from his mom, right?
Yep. Well, mostly from his mom, but he learned skills from the Mentats, from the from Gurney, and he's learned many different disciplines. That's what's important.
Whoa.
It's like, be careful. Don't say my name because you'll kill
Yeah,
somebody.
exactly. And that's why it's really cool when they're going into combat and you hear people going Muad'Dib, and they're taking out large sections of the desert.
Forget, isn't Muad'Dib, doesn't that mean like the little mouse or something? Because she had seen a...
No, that's Usul. Muad'Dib is... What did Muad'Dib mean? I'm forgetting.
I was going to say, you could ask Alexa.
Multiple meanings. You were right. Muad'Dib, it means desert mouse.
Desert mouse, okay.
Yeah. Usul was the place on the moon.
Yeah, I knew there was a moon in there somewhere, but I didn't think it was Muad'Dib.
It literally means strength at the base of the pillar. Again, the weirding modules, the sound weapon and so forth, that's all a contrivance of this particular version of Dune, the David Lynch version. However, the idea that his name would be a killing word that does come from the source material. So it's like a literal interpretation of it. So he is the original he who should not be named. I suppose so.
Here it comes.
I love the orchestration too. Dun 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 dun.
I'm gonna crack you open like a lobster.
Kinda. And by opening up that segment, the worm has to turn that away from the sand because it hurts.
Sand in it, yeah.
Yeah. And that's how he gets on top. And by keeping it open, he keeps him in that orientation.
And I always just stabbed it with something.
But what's amazing about this is basically he is piloting a whale, a land whale.
Yeehaw!
Kinda, yeah.
It's like, let's all get on board. Hey, honey, your carpool's here.
I just want to hear one of them say, Enoch Chuck. Points to anyone who gets that reference.
Star Trek.
Nope. Super
What?
Friends. Super Friends.
What?
Apache Chief. The other thing is because they're using sound weapons and not laser guns, they can attack a shield. Darth Plato says, a boomer groan. My day is complete now. You actually make a good point there, Darth Plato, because the whole idea behind the Fremen was that they were, in and of themselves, such good warriors. They represented desert power. You got to think about them like, I don't know, like the Viet Cong or the Cherokee, or, you know, some other native that knows the land and is good at fighting from hiding and guerrilla warfare and whatnot.
Nate says, so he's the original, he who should not be named.
Exactly.
You got that tenor, you owe me.
They lied.
This is all Spicediver added additions, right?
Yeah, some of it's a little bit of out of order from the original release. There's some added scenes.
That board looks weird.
Yeah. Well, like I said last week, those guys are like, they will one day be guild steersmen.
Spice is the original. Won't it make my bright eyes blue?
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's brilliant. Destroy all life on Arrakis and you end spice production. I mean, I don't want to be critical of the pacing of this movie because, you know, there's only so much that Lynch could do, but this is like warp speed. My head just spins.
I wonder, well, what about, there's other how was the Sci-Fi Channel version's pacing?
Well, a little bit better because it was a mini-series. And of course, the Denis Villeneuve version is split up into 2 movies. So, but it's almost like 6 hours.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. He has to take this stuff out in the dusty desert.
They tried and died. If you don't hit the like button, then you are our Conan. Thank you, Darth Plato. That's a good one, actually.
Curtis says, the Emperor would later come to Earth and be elected governor of California.
Yeah.
Which, near as I can tell, is pretty much a job that anyone can get.
Well, you certainly don't need to be terribly skilled.
Hello to Darth Plato.
He's taking the war of life, so they're bleeding.
Yeah, again, it's this idea that all the Bene Gesserit are somehow psychically linked,
like the Borg. And she grew up fast.
Well, that's the other thing too. The film doesn't convey it very well, but there is years that pass. The book does a better job of conveying how much time passes, and so how old Alia would be and so forth. And I don't remember specifically, maybe someone who knows Dune better than I do might be able to correct me on this, but I always got the impression that upon taking the water of life and really having his consciousness opened, if he wanted to, he could act as a guild steersman because he has that level of prescience.
Can he talk to worms now?
That's so wicked.
I know. I get chills.
They're multiplying.
Curtis says, squeeze and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze without mercy. Like button.
Like button. Right on. And we all just stabbed everybody to our right.
Do you own the score to this, Troy?
Pardon me?
Do you have the score to this?
I don't, but I really do love it. I love the fact that you have this orchestral music with electric guitars.
Now the soundtrack was available at the time. I don't remember if I ever had or have a copy of it.
I'll bet Daniel has it.
Oh, I'll bet.
Probably.
Because there was a time where soundtracks were my thing.
Yeah.
But, well, not, honestly, not just mine.
Now, I also wonder about the wisdom of having all these thumpers this close together. You'd think they'd spread out more, but whatever.
I recognize that voice.
Yep. He does have a very distinctive voice.
Thumper. Yeah. Give one, Curtis.
I love that line.
Where's Ed's gas barn?
Yeah, exactly.
You've got movie sign.
And hello again, Wade. Good to see you. That floating fat man.
They got Pluto.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that hostage would not be a hostage if she didn't intend to be there.
All right. The words you are looking for right now, Baron, is shit.
Yes, exactly.
That is all. All right. Oh, I really am.
That's some weird juju there.
Yep. Now, she shouldn't know him as Muad'Dib.
And technically granddaughter to the guy floating over there.
Yep, exactly.
Huh? You're going to explain that, right? No.
No, well.
Well, but the explanation is pretty simple. I don't know how he knows unless it has something to do with his prescience. But the fact is, he knows that everything is lining up the way it's supposed to. His sister's in place. The atomics are going off. The storm is coming. The worms have arrived. You know, everything is going perfectly on schedule. I do like that one, Curtis. Get out of my mind. Get into my car.
My brother's coming.
And you are going to be so apt.
He's got a case of the worms.
Oh, yeah. Big case of the worms. They didn't just awaken a sleeping giant. They awakened a whole mess of sleeping giants. Yeah, good luck with that.
Battleship. Now
That's
with
not going to
sandworms.
work.
The worms are pissed. Yeah.
Whoops.
Bye.
And that's actually a great little touch too, because Alicia Witt is a natural redhead, and you saw some of that hair poking out, which is just perfect, you know. Those that know, you know. Creepy little girl.
Here we come to save the day.
No, the day's already saved. It's pretty much ceremonial at this point.
Well, there's a couple of more cards to play.
Yep. I like this. I'll give the right to this. They established justice in their world. Yeah. I mean, I love the look that he gives. It's like they're all shadows to him.
Is that Sting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he turns his back on him because he knows he was sent as an assassin.
What was that thing
That
he
has
just
been
pulled out of his
splintered.
chest?
The heart
The heart
plug that
plug.
the Harkonnens put into him.
Hmm.
In other words, he would rather die than take Paul's life.
Dang, those eyebrows.
Yeah, I know.
What, they needed plucking?
Well, trimming maybe.
You could braid those.
Yeah.
Silence.
Dagger.
Yep.
That's not a knife. This is a knife.
Well, I mean, that's got to be what he's thinking, because he's literally wielding a maker's tooth. I love that he's not really taking it as seriously as he should. Grandstanding, turning your back on your enemy.
Ow.
Mm.
Curtis says, yeah, say what you will about Thade. He's actually the closest to a real threat that Paul faces. That's because he was one step away from being a Kwisatz Haderach himself.
And I guess Sarah says, poor Sting. Now he has to become a singer.
Yeah, exactly.
She's so tiny.
Yep.
It is the Kwisatz Haderach.
Yep. Plus, he had great fashion sense. Yes. Perfect ending. They did not have the stupid rainstorm or anything.
No.
That's the other reason that I like this version so much.
You like the credits with all the actors?
I do actually. Yeah.
Yeah. Helps you keep track of everybody.
Right.
Exactly, because sometimes it's like, who was that guy?
Right.
Oh, that's who that was. Okay.
Everett McGill. Jack Nance.
Was there a fish in the park?
There was, yes. Beast Raban kind of lost his head, didn't he? Well, Curtis, they had kind of established earlier on the Fremen were working on a terraforming operation by accumulating, this moisture below ground. They were eventually going to change the face of Arrakis. So in the later books, what happens is over thousands and thousands of years, the desert is turning green and there is less and less desert, which also means that the roaming lands for the great sandworms is disappearing, which further means less spice. Nate finds all the cat memes. Motion controlled fabrication and design. Thomas Tool and Design. That's good stuff.
They get the stuntman and there's like 5 guys.
Right. All these characters were fictitious? Really? Aw, I didn't realize that. Well, there you go. That was the Spicediver edit of Dune. I think the closest we'll ever get to a Lynch version or director's cut, so to speak.
Indeed.
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. All right. I'm getting ready for the next thing.
Oh yeah, because right after this,
All right,
it
so,
will be play 7.
Yep.
Go ahead.
No, you were saying.
Oh, right. All right. Well, all right. So for those of you in the chat who maybe have not seen this version of the film before, what did you think? Let us know.
So,
how
like
would
I
rate?
Oh yeah, good point.
How would I rate it? Well, like I said, this movie was the theatrical version of this movie was my gateway into Dune. It is a theater experience that I still remember very well to this day. So on that basis, yeah, I really like the movie. Even though at that point in time there were a lot of things I was confused by, and there are still parts of it that I just think are kind of awkward. But on the whole, I like it. But I actually do prefer this edit of the film. So yeah, I'm a fan of it for sure. And but I gotta tell you, I think the Sci-Fi Channel version is the definitive version. So that one I would still very much recommend, even over this, because I do think it hews closer to the source material than any other version I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
But that's that's just honestly just my opinion on it. But yeah, I do like it. This movie was the first time I saw a lot of these actors in anything. So yeah. Like deleted, this movie was my first David Lynch movie, but I didn't see it in the theaters. Saw it on television. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you probably saw the 4-hour version.
Yeah, I was going to say the television edit, exactly.
Yeah, Curtis says, I've enjoyed portions of the sci-fi version. I've had a chance to see. Yeah, sit down and see the whole entire version. This is 4 stars, 3.5 stars. They give it 4.5. Okay, yeah. Let's see. Connie says, lost count how many times you've seen it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Curtis says, loved it. Thought it was much better in the released version. I agree there. Deleted producing Dune. Continue the story. Well, if there's somebody out there who's making a version and they're going to crowdfund it, I do what I could to help. But I don't know if what's going on with Dune. If anybody is well, I mean, they got this Dune Messiah. But here's the thing, is that they changed so much of the plot. And they short-shrifted so many characters, and they made the differences to Chani that they did. They've painted themselves into so many corners that I'm not sure how they're going to get out of it. So I know Dune Messiah is being made. I know Anya Taylor-Joy is going to be back playing Alia. That's pretty much all I know. Nerd Cookies, her channel. You would have to go there and get all the kind of the Dune skinny. But
yeah, she knows her lore. She really does.
I like the first half of the Villeneuve version, but I think part 2 goes off the rails. And what was odd about it to me was I thought all the Harkonnen stuff was the more interesting. Because they changed so much of Paul and Johnny's end of it that I didn't know where they were going with it. You get Christopher Walken to play the Emperor and then give him nothing to do.
Yeah.
except sit there and look old. Which with you've got Christopher Walken. Why are you doing this to him? So what I became interested in was Austin Butler's Feyd-Rautha. I think he steals that film. But that that's me. I mean, I get it. Everybody loved it. That's fine. That's
You're
your
not
opinion.
everybody.
Great. No, I think that movie's a piece of crap. I'm sorry. That second half ruins the first half.
Well, it's funny. Well, since we're ragging on it, I remember you were mentioning pacing issues with this one. I kind of felt Dune Part 2 had pacing issues in the reverse, where it felt very slow to me, actually, if I'm being honest. But the Villeneuve version, but I don't know though with this version though, and I'm not even I often wonder with these like cuts, like the Spicediver cuts. I think they're doing their best to make us complete a version of the Lynch version as they can, or at least. I still wonder though, is it just still too compressed? You really need to read the books to fully appreciate what you're seeing on screen, or at least the first book. I mean, I don't know.
I think up to a point, yes, because this is why I love the Sci-Fi Channel version so much, is because I think you can't do this on film unless you do a multi-part version, because there is so much, there is so much that is left out of this version and is left out or changed in the Villeneuve version. There are characters that are completely gone. How many people remember Paul and Shawnee have a son?
Right.
That gets killed by Raban, and that's what makes Paul snap.
Yep.
And go after the Harkonnen the way he does.
Yeah.
Because you're dude, you're pissing off a guy who's basically a god now. And he is just totally God mode through the whole thing and just starts ripping through the Harkonnen left and right. There's a lot that gets left out. There's everybody figuring out who's related to who. It's Jessica finding out that Harkonnen's her dad, and basically in the end Paul has to kill his cousin in this fight, and he uses that against him in the fight too, and distracts him with that. You have the whole subplot of Gurney thinking it was Jessica who ratted them out to the Harkonnen.
Right.
There's so many subplots that get left out. You have the this character that gets talked about a lot, Count Fenring, completely cut out of every version. I don't know if he's in the Sci-Fi Channel or not. I don't remember him. There's the whole Bene Gesserit plot to have Feyd-Rautha have an heir, which the Villeneuve version does keep in, thankfully. But it's just there's so much going on that my suggestion would be, go and read the book, and then come back and watch the movies and decide which you think is the best one. Go to Nerd Cookies and watch the videos that she's done. There are actually a few channels out there that have a lot of Dune content, and check them out. Don't go just off of this one movie. I think the one main issue with this version was the fact that they did have to compress it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, in retrospect, if he'd had a choice, I think David Lynch would have done this as a series or multi films if he could. But that's the thing. You're dealing with Dino De Laurentiis, and he's going to rule the day, so to speak. But yeah, so I mean, it's kind of a flawed, compromised movie, but yet at the same time, it introduced me to this world.
It was also impressive what he was able to do with what he had.
With what he did have, yeah. And
although I'm going to say I'm not sure how Lynch felt about the idea of making it multiple films, I do know he wanted it to be a much longer film.
Yes.
And he was overridden on that.
Right, because you can only tell so much in the amount of time you're given. I mean, it's...
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Well, I said, even this longer version that we were watching, it was still kind of at warp speed. There's a lot that's missed that you only know if you are, familiar with the source material.
Do you feel it's at warp speed after the battle, the Harkonnen invade, or is it all the way through? Because I kind of feel like that. I mean, as someone who hasn't read the book, I don't know. So, but I kind of feel like that doesn't feel warp speed. But then after he's introduced to the Fremen, it just kind of just jumps.
Actually, that's pretty perceptive.
Yeah.
Although that first part up to the first battle is still a bit truncated, it isn't nearly as as going with the analogy we've already started with, it isn't nearly as warp speed as everything after that point. So that's actually a good observation.
Mm-hmm. And when you get to Dune Part 2, which I'm assuming you're going to do for one of the movie nights at some point, because you did do the first half.
True.
I'm curious to see what everybody thinks of it, because I mean, I get it. It does have its fans, but I'm like, it's, to me, it made so many changes that I can't see how they could properly move forward, because they haven't set anything up.
True.
There's no setup for Dune Messiah because none of it is there.
Well, I assume
taking out all the references to it. Go ahead.
Well, I assume at the end there were other houses that were going to be rebelling against Paul, so he was going to go to war with them. So I assume maybe if there was a part 3 that it would pick up with that.
Well, and the other thing to keep in mind too, is if you think about the books, particularly, Messiah and Children and so forth, you eventually get to a point where the story of Chani ends. So any issues we had with the characterization of Chani and what they did with her kind of don't matter as much anymore. Mm-hmm. What's really important is what ends up happening with Leto and Ghanima.
I said because there was one theory, and this isn't just mine. This is just the only theory I've heard that makes sense, that where Dune Messiah could begin be if she realizes after she leaves that she's pregnant. That would make her maybe come back. But I don't know. I don't know. That there's so much that's changed in different perspective shifts. And I don't go, like I said, I don't go into a Dune movie. I don't want to say necessarily rooting for the Harkonnen, but finding them the more interesting characters. And that's what I did with Dune 2.
We unfortunately live in a time where I don't want to even see movie franchises being interpreted right now, because the entertainment industry right now is just too compromised with all the check boxes and all the crap and the political garbage. Everything is corrupted. And I really do believe that generations from now are going to look back at this period and go, this was the messed up era, you know?
If the film movie industry survives.
Yeah.
That's not a guarantee.
Not
People
wrong.
keep thinking it's a guarantee. It's not. Opera used to be huge. It's now kind of a thing of the past. I mean, people still go to the opera. People still go see movies. But is it going to have the impact it once had? They really have to get their act together. It's not fun anymore. And part of the problem is I feel the company leading all the bad stuff is Disney, and they're not reforming. They just will not reform themselves.
No.
Right.
I don't know. That's just my opinion.
And I think what will be the smack to the face is when the Avengers movies tank.
Yeah.
And they're going to, because they're just too expensive. I mean, they're already talking a budget of $300 to $400 million each for both films. That's going to be a disaster. Because they think they can spend and spend and spend, and they can throw all of this money at it. And we're going to be trained SEALs because it's got Marvel stamped on it. And they don't realize no one is going. Because what's the point? It's going to be on streaming in a month anyway. So just wait.
And to be fair, you know, we are the alternative media. We are here to remind you of the entertainment that was good, that you should be aware of if you're not, or to relive it if you are, which is why we do what we do.
Mm-hmm. Nate in the chat says, did you know that Flappy auditioned for the role of Paul's sister but didn't get it? His beak was bent out of shape.
Yeah, he was
Twin Peaks.
Yeah, it was not pretty. You know, I mean, he was delivering those lines though, and it's no. I that was actually and he was not big on Dino De Laurentiis either, from what I'd heard. They did not
well.
That
I understand. No. A lot of people had a difficult time with Dino De Laurentiis. So let's be honest there. That's not just Flappy. That's a lot of
the Flappy versus De Laurentiis argument is the stuff of Hollywood legend.
We could almost do a whole live from Sparkwood in 21 about that alone. Yeah. You know, speaking of which, what are we doing? What are we doing going forward?
Well, going forward, we do have a couple of episodes planned to that's going to be a deep dive into Mulholland Drive.
Yes,
because so we're going to revisit the film, and then the week after that, Troy's going to take over because he's done quite a bit of so we say his own research into this film. Now I'm very curious to hear this myself.
Yeah. I've been pretty obsessive about this. I'm kind of wondering how much of it you've already pieced together yourself, and how much of my theorizing matches up with yours. But I guess we'll find out. So, are we going to do that next week? Are we going to do Mulholland Drive next week?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
And
Get ready for a ride, people. This is going to be this is going to be a big one.
This is going to be wild. And of course, at some point, we're finally going to have to get to Inland Empire. I really think we should. And for those of you, and Flappy pooped on Dealer Ennis's car. He did. You
couldn't prove that.
I don't blame him.
You couldn't prove it.
I think he did, Boomer. I'm sorry.
There are plenty of other birds around at the same time. Could have been any one of them.
There may have been a second
I'd like to
pooper.
believe he did. Because if I could fly and poop on his car, I would have done it myself.
If I could fly, there'd be a lot of people's cars I'd be pooping on. But anyway,
yeah.
Justice for Flappy. Well, not Indeed. In this life. I'm telling you. It's just it's a shame.
Yeah.
Not treated well.
He did not
for
get
the
his
last
due.
episode of Live from Sparkwood 21. We all meet at Bob's Big Boy. Oh man.
Yeah. But I am not walking out back.
No, yeah, exactly right.
So Mulholland Drive will be next for our kind of 2-week deep dive. We're going to have to do Inland Empire at some point.
Lost Highway,
definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, because that's yours, Boomer, from what I understand.
Yeah,
so,
I mean, I'm not an expert on it, but it's one of I think it might be the Lynch film I'm most fond of. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'd like to hear your opinion on it,
sure,
and in particular, what your theories on, what
what's
Robert
going
Blake's
on
character represents.
Okay,
because
go ahead.
He's the part I don't get. I mean, I think I do, but I am not positive. That's why I do want to revisit that one, and I do very much want to hear your opinion.
Sure.
So we got
definitely
a question in the chat from ZW Zach.
Okay.
Was the Dune comic any good? I'm not familiar with the Dune comic. Do you guys know about it?
I know a little bit about it. What I have seen of it is well done.
It was fine until Howard the Duck showed up. I'm joking. Okay, go ahead.
He's joking.
Yes.
Yeah.
I see. There was an official Marvel Dune comic related to this. I didn't even know about that.
Oh, well, I thought he was meaning the present comics. I didn't know there was a comic related to this directly. No, I can't speak to that. No, I would have to look.
I'd be interested in checking that out. It looks like, was it a 4-issue miniseries? It looks like they tried to give it the same treatment they did with Star Wars and stuff like that.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I'll have to look into this.
We'll have to look into that. Yeah.
68-page prestige format. Yeah, I'm interested now. I'll check it out.
Right on. Alrighty. So let's go one time around the horn. Boomer, what have you got coming up?
Well, I'll be joining Troy here on Friday for Last Call, and we'll be doing Geeky Geezers on Sunday. We got some news to talk about too. I don't know if there's one particular story going this week, if we're going to talk about it or not. I usually go over things with Troy first, but apparently allegations have come out against a certain actor, so I don't know if we'll be doing that or not, but I'll go over.
Honestly, it's really hard to say because we are still so early in the week.
Yeah, I know, but this was a big story that broke. Another basically something to movement thing going on, but we'll see if it's worth talking about or not. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, alrighty.
Mhm.
Netter.
Let's see. Tomorrow is Wednesday, and I will be on the MSK show, episode 255. Apparently, the title is Great Value Seasoned French Fried Potatoes Feet. And I am the guest host. I put the link in my community tab so y'all can join. It'll be, it's supposed to be 9 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Pacific Time. So, yep, come over there and watch me act like an idiot because I have no idea what we're really talking about. I mean, if we're talking about French fried potatoes, cool. I mean, I love French fried potatoes.
French fried potatoes.
Try to tell you, potatoes are my favorite vegetable, root, whatever you want to call them. I love potatoes. Let's see. Thursday, I think we're still trying to confirm whether or not we're going to get Mr. Manhams himself, James Record, on my channel to talk about his career and his GoFundMe for his mom. She died recently, and him and his brother are trying to raise money to give her a proper send-off. Let's see. Friday, I am co-hosting with Troy on Last Call. Saturday is going to be over on Big Al's channel. I'll be co-hosting there. And which movie is it?
Love at First Bite.
Love at First Bite. For some reason, I had Fantastic Voyage in my head.
Yeah, we already did that.
Yeah, so Love at First Bite, which is a fun vampire movie. Let's see, and that's it. And right after this, I'm going to be co-hosting on Blake 7. Yeah.
Right. So, yeah, that's actually a good pivot. So right after this, we'll be moving on to, if you stay right where you're at, you will be directed over to my channel for Blake 7. This is almost the midpoint of season 3. This is the 6th episode of Blake 7. And the fact that it is the 6th episode is there's a little bit of irony there, and you'll see why when you get over there. It's apropos that this is the 6th episode of the season. The number 6 is key. Yep, and then Friday, of course, Last Call. Very special guest, Stark of Iron, who I believe is a member on Deleted's channel.
Yes, he is.
There you go. And he will be a guest with me, and we will drink and we'll talk about some stuff, but mostly we're going to drink. And yeah, then all the other things those other people said. So that's what I got. Oh no, I've also got every day this week, and every week, weekday anyway, Liquid Lunch at noon Central, 1 hour show. Whatever you're doing, pull out your phones or your computers or whatever. Take your lunch break with me, and let's chit chat and drink. So that's it. That really is it for me.
Alrighty. Well, that brings things on over to me. All right. I do want to remind everybody, stay to the end on my channel. You will be redirected to Troy's channel for Blake 7, and I'll be there in the Cosme chat, dueling my good buddy Curtis Selby on Dave Ryder nicknames. He knows all that. He knows what that's all about. All right. So as of tomorrow, I don't have anything planned, so I may go ahead with my Predator Killer of Killers review. Stay tuned to my community page for the time on that. Thursday, I'm going to be joining Outlaw Bill for Action Theater as we return to our regular time, Thursdays at 4:30 p.m. Eastern. Bond month continues with For Your Eyes Only. And then, of course, later that night, after Thursday things, coming attractions, well, you get to find out what's coming up for the next week on my channel, including my appearance, also along with Bill, on Big Al's channel for Films with Friends, Friday the 13th, The Final Chapter, a.k.a. They Lied. That would be Friday at 8 p.m. And I am going to be joined, if all goes to plan, Saturday at 4 p.m. I am going to be joining Popculture Minefield for a Saturday afternoon matinee. This week's movie, Equilibrium, with Christian Bale. And then that gets us on over to Western Cinema Presents, 4 p.m. Eastern, hosted by Outlaw Bill and myself. This week's movie will be Horizon, an American Saga, Chapter 1, with Kevin Costner, which will be a first watch for me. Later on that night at 8 p.m., Unscripted, episode 112, entitled I Melt With You. And if you're up to date on current events, you might figure out what that's going to be about. And then later, and then of course, right after that, Geeky Geezers. And right after Geeky Geezers is over, get yourself a nice snack, little beverage. Head back on over to my channel at 12:05 a.m. Eastern for reserved seats. And Big Al Presents will be my guest for that show. And then, of course, join us right back here next week. Same bat time, same bat channel. As we go into part 1 of our deep dive into Mulholland Drive.
Cool.
In short, I will be busy.
Oh, just a
Plus,
little.
I have to work. Yeah, I will be. Yeah, it's my own fault. Plus, it's my birthday coming up here in a couple of weeks, so I'm going to be planning some shows around that as well. So, here we go. And hopefully, I'll get a chance to see Ballerina sometime in the next couple of days, and I can put in my 2 cents on that one, assuming it doesn't go to streaming before I have a chance to see it, because it is not doing well. Nate says, Netters, are you sure that you and my wife aren't separated at birth? You both speak French, you both love potatoes, and you both married down.
Yeah, and I said to him, let's be honest, that could describe any number of women. That's not, love of potatoes is a lot. I think a lot of women marry down. And there's a lot of women that speak French too. So there you go. Anyway.
Oui. So agree. No, I have to go. Oui. All right. All right. Let's close out the show. Netter, let's go out with your final words.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, wrong one.
Yep.
I just want to thank everyone for being here. I'm always saying that we can talk amongst ourselves, and that's fine, but it's totally better, much better with you guys in the chat, joining us. You drop in comments, questions, trivia. You're being goofy, whatever it may be. You guys are Osmo. You help make the show. You really do. And the way that you support us in our channels, I mean, we can't thank you enough. It's not just the comments and the thumbs up. It's those of you who are members or you're dropping super chats or super stickers. It really does help us to grow our channels. I know for me and Troy, every dollar that we get is going to improve our quote unquote studio so that we have better equipment and we can make our shows better for you, because we don't do this for us. We do this for you. We want you to keep coming back. We want you to enjoy yourselves. So we want to make sure that we're giving you the best experience that we can. So thank you so much for all of your support. And I said, you guys are Osmo. And we really could not do this without you. So if you haven't yet, please give a thumbs up on our various streams tonight. If you're not a member yet, would you consider becoming one? Like I said, every little bit helps. If you haven't dropped a comment yet, maybe you've been lurking, maybe just drop a comment, say hi. Or after the stream is over, drop a comment there, like Connie does. Thank you, Connie. I said it all does help, and it has to do with the YouTube algorithms and all that. So all these different things really do help us. We really do appreciate you. And I hope that you will keep coming back. Right now, you want to stay put because you will be redirected to Blake 7 over on Troy's channel or mine, depending on which one of us you are in, which stream you're in. But until next time, good night and God bless.
And welcome at the last minute to me and my monkey. Good to see you. The Spicediver edit of Dune can be found on the Internet Archive. All right. And as I say at the end of every show, thank you all once again for joining us. I hope that you enjoyed the show. Please hit the like, share out the stream. And if you are not yet a member, now is the time to join in. From HQ, the corner of Sparkwood and 21, and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond. Good night. Take care. Stay strong. Be safe and healthy. Don't upset any little redheaded girls because, you know, to get a little stabby. Because this is how we win.